Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married at First Sight Season 13 Reunion Part 1. Baby, this reunion was explosive. Oh my gosh, it was explosive. Child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you are back for a second or third time, then child, welcome back. Child, let's get into the mess. Let's get into it if we're going to get into it. So the reunion is starting, y'all. Kevin welcomes us to the Houston Season 13 reunion. First up is Rachel and Jose. Okay, girl, got the little half up, half down in the back. Okay, Rachel, got your green on. Jose looks like Jose. Hey there. So Kevin asked if they matched them up perfectly. So y'all know these two gonna give us perfect if they don't give us nothing else. So Jose chimed in about his laundry list and everything that he wanted out of a wife, and he feels like he got it. Jose is always talking about what he wants and needs. I'm still not feeling Josean. Okay, I'm sorry, honey. I mean, I know we're at the end of the road, but just something about Jose just does not sit right to me, especially after the way he treated Rachel. Honey, and I ain't gonna never forget it. So Rachel said, I was just happy that I got looks and everything that I asked for on top of the looks. Okay, girl. So Kevin got right into it. He brings up the locked door heard round the world. So Kevin said, let's be real. You knew you were locking out. Now listen, last season, the reunion, Kevin kind of got on my nerves a little bit. But the fact that he called Jose out, you knew you were locking that top lock, honey. You knew when you went to that door and you locked that deadbolt that you meant for her to be on the outside. And that's exactly what you did, honey. You knew you were locking out. He said, black and white. I mean, yes. Kevin was like, well, what you did was foul, right? So after him and hawing and lying for a little bit, he was like, yeah, and I was sorry. So Rachel is making excuses for him like she always does. She's like, he thought I was going to stay with one of the other girls, but everyone was already asleep. And then it got scary because I didn't know if I was going to just have to stay in the hallway and stay awake until he left for work. Rachel, do you hear that? Yeah, that's the sound of your voice making a stupid excuse for Jose. You thought as a married woman, when your spouse is supposed to cover and protect you, that you were going to have to sleep in the hallway or wide awake, honey, sleep with your eyes open until he woke up for work. Child, I would have kicked that door in, beat that door in. Child, it would have been a reason or a way that I was going to get in. I don't know if I had to call emergency maintenance. I'm not sure exactly how, but I would have gotten in there and I would have been in my bed. Child, this is a fool. So then they show us a little flashback. So Kevin said, well, as a viewer, we were pissed. Yes, we were, Kevin. Thank you for speaking for the people. So Jose is steady talking about how, I was really still upset. I was really just still pissed. Child, he could care less about how this affected her. She just said she felt like she was going to sleep outside in the hallway and she was scared. And you're still saying, oh, I was just mad. I was still, I was still just mad. So when they did the little flashback, Jose barely wanted to look. Now, open your eyes up. Open your eyes all the way up and look at exactly what you did, honey. Open them eyes all the way up. So he's like, yeah, I'm a little passive aggressive. Okay. I mean, that's a little bit of accountability. I'm gonna give it to you, Jose. Okay. You're realizing that you're passive aggressive. Somebody must have told you that on the way in. So Rachel was like, yeah, it's crazy. One day this person cares for you and then they just don't. So Kevin gave Jose kudos for coming around. But as previously stated, I'm not buying it. Moving forward. So he asks, what's happened since then? Are you two still together? So then Rachel drops a bomb. Now, let me tell you something. I already knew that Jose was going to be Joseing as soon as the cameras went down. Honey, if he was Joseing in front of the cameras, y'all know what he was going to do after the cameras went down. But let's hear what Rachel has to say. She says, well, we did break up. Girl, say what now? I am shocked. I told y'all that this was coming. Now, I don't want any of the marriages to break up. Now, when I watch Married at First Sight, it's my escape in me thinking, you know what? One day my Prince Charming will come, or one day I'm going to be in love, and one day I'm going to get married. It's going to be the right one. That's what I watch Married at First Sight for. But we've somehow gotten away from that, and now we have these 2 consecutive seasons where there was nothing but toxicity. So, I mean, it's not hard to call out. And I told y'all that this was coming. He does not respect her. Because if he did, he would not have left her outside the apartment. He said, are you still broken up? Jose said, yeah, we're working on it. We broke up for about a month. Y'all are married, honey. It ain't no breaking up. So y'all separated for about a month? Okay. So Jose said, when the cameras went down, things were happening. It was a little bit tense. Rachel said, yeah, he was just very impatient. And, with my suitcases and everything, he kept saying, like, when are you going to unpack your stuff? Like, what are you going to do with that? And where are you going to... Rachel, I told you, when he looked at your souvenir pencils from your trips around the world and he said, do you need to bring those pencils with you? Girl, when he couldn't make space for your souvenirs, I knew it was damned if you do and damned if you don't. You were doomed. Child, I knew it. I'm like, Rachel, if you cannot bring those pencils, then you're not going to be able to go. And also I said, when Jose was giving us a tour of the estate, okay, because I don't want to just call it a house, honey, because Jose will be getting all over me. When Jose gave us the tour of the estate, equipped with the whiteboard, I said then, Rachel is not going to feel welcome there. It will always be Jose's place, and she will just be someone moving into his place. She's going to have to abide by his rules, do things the way that he wants them done. And I mean, the Rachel of yesteryear is gone. Okay, you're going to have to adapt to being the new Rachel. And there's nothing wrong with coming into your space together and making it your own. But my thought is the two of them should have gotten a mutual place that they both purchased with both of their names on the deed so that she has some right to something. Because, child, Texas is a community property state. And so rightfully, she can just go on in there and make him sell that house and give her half of it. I'm just saying, putting you up on game, moving forward. She was like, it just didn't feel like it was my home. Rachel, I spoke to you for 16 weeks, but honey, I'm going to leave you alone. She said, so then I just moved back to my mom's house. But see, I wouldn't be able to do this. I really would not be able to do this. If I'm in a marriage, I don't want to go sleep on my mama's couch. I want to live in the home with my spouse. So Rachel was like, yeah, after that, I was just done. And then he asked to take me out, but the sparks for me, they just weren't there anymore. But now we talk on the phone every day and things are starting to get back on track. All right, Rachel, you can play high school, landline, phone, talk all night, chat room vibes if you want to. But I'm just telling you right now, unless you guys tackle the real issues, you're going to go back and forth and forth and back. And the minute he makes you mad again, you are going to leave again. Like, that's just what's going to happen. So then Kevin asked about Summer Rachel, and she said Rachel the Stallion and her hot girl Summer didn't help either. So Kevin said, are you going to loosen those wallet strings for a vacation, Jose? He said, yeah, but I just like to do it big on vacation. And she said, yeah, we were planning a trip to Mexico before all of this happened. Oh, not to Mexico. Ciao. Goodbye. Then we see never before seen footage of Rachel talking to her friend, having absolutely no idea what Jose does for a living. Ciao, Rachel don't even know what he does. She gave him a whole title, child. She's like, he works in the Space Center, but I know he doesn't go into space. Okay, well, we can check off astronaut. Girl, and what else is going on? She was like, I think he fits the space suits, and then if the space suits don't fit right, then he fits the space shoes, and if the shoes don't fit right, then he fits the space helmet. Honey, I don't know what Rachel was talking about because I went to go get me a refreshing beverage, but all I know is Jose is not an astronaut, and it looks like he sews uniforms and whatnot. Moving forward. So then Kevin asked her about her saying she couldn't have picked a better man. He's like, what about now? She said, I still feel the same way. So child, good luck to whatever y'all doing. Tell your mom and them I said, hey, Brett and Ryan. So as soon as they sit down, the first thing I want to address is Brett in this emerald green. Love the color up against that skin. Love it. Some booby tape was needed, okay? Because them boobs was doing what them boobs do, honey. And sometimes gravity gets a hold of us. So we're going to have to tape them boobs up, okay? All right, moving forward. So Kevin says, hey, I don't think anyone was surprised you two broke up. Well, dang. Well, tell us how you really feel. But I mean, touche, Kevin, touche. So they show a little flashback of the honeymoon. And Ryan said the honeymoon was easy. It wasn't real life. But when they got back, that's when the hard work started. So Kevin said, people kept saying you weren't his type. Did that hurt you? She said no, but it was hard to hear over and over and over again. And this is my thing. Okay, Brett is not his type. Nobody wants to keep hearing that every 5 minutes. Okay, we all have a type. Well, I don't actually have a type. I just really like who I like. I mean, that's just how I am. But there's always something about a specific person that you like. So nobody wants to hear, oh, he doesn't like the non-blonde hair and blue-eyed type, even if that's not his type. I mean, he could like brunettes. I don't know what he likes. All I know is he don't like Brett. Let's continue. So Kevin asks what Ryan learned about himself. Child, not to date while married at first sight. Anywho, Brett was asked the same question, and she said it taught her she can be more open-minded with who she dates. Not you telling us subliminally that Ryan ain't your type either. Girl, I caught that shade. So Ryan's sister comes out. Hey, girl, sit on down. And Brett said, hey, girl, hey. Brett, let me find out. Brett, let me find out you an opinionator, okay? Hey, Brett. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. So his sister said, the family really loved Brett. We wish they would have worked things out. So then they go to the flashback of the sister saying Ryan is still worried about that ex or that next. So Ryan said, I understand why she said that, but I just wish we could have talked about it. I mean, she's seen it happen before. We lived together for 4 years. His sister said, that she regrets making that assumption, but she felt for Brett at the time. But she found out that Brett was dating someone else. When she was telling me that he was distracted, she was actually distracted. That's why she was unbothered next to that DIY wall in her apartment. She wanted out anyway. Okay, Brett checked out after that visit from Dr. Viviana. When she said she had a crush on Ryan and he said, I'm not quite there yet, and she had to excuse herself from the room to have a little one-on-one time so he could talk directly to Dr. Viviana, that's when she went on the prowl, honey. She took them red roots and she started looking around town, honey, and she ain't fooling me. So Kevin said, Brett, is this true? She said, no. Brett. Okay, Brett, I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. His sister said, she's still seeing him, I think. So Brett continues to deny. And Ryan said, I know it carried on after decision day. Oh, really? Okay, now listen to me. We're not going to skate on past the fact that Brett was messing around with somebody before she found out that Ryan was on the app, okay? We're going to have to give it to Brett just like we give it to everybody else. At the time, Brett, whether Ryan was dead behind the eyes or not, you were still married to him. I don't care if he did sit there like a mannequin in one of your favorite malls. You still were married to him. I don't care if he did sleep on the couch. You still were married to him. So she was like, there's facts and then there's rumors. The facts are that I gave my number out and that's it. And, we would talk from time to time. Girl, but you were married. Same as Ryan. Ryan said, listen, I have the receipts. Now, he didn't exactly say it like that, but y'all know I like to zhuzh it up. Ryan said, I saw some things. There was an interaction. Ryan, pipe up and speak your speech. Just put it all out there. Hey, I saw that you were texting him and y'all were getting into it as y'all got into it. I don't know if y'all kissed. I don't know if y'all got it popping. I don't know if y'all went to Pound Town. I don't know what y'all did, but you were doing it at the time that you were coming home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning while I was sleeping on the couch because I was afraid to ask you to sleep in the spare bedroom. And that was when you had all your nasty stuff traipsed all up and through the home. Just say it, Ryan. Like, this is the thing that I'm noticing here. The men on this season, with the exception of Jose and Johnny, honey, because they're going to use their words if they don't do nothing else, they are a little bit afraid to verbalize how they feel. Say it. Okay? Just say it. Just say, look, you're lying. Okay? I don't want to make you look bad, Brett, because we cool. We're cool. We're buddies. We're buds. But at the same time, you're lying. Okay, now you're not going to make me look like a fool. I'm out here and everybody's hating me for being on the dating app when you were doing the same thing that I was doing. I mean, just say it. Like, child, please. So then Kevin was like, so sister, what's your take on it? Child, we don't really need the sister's take on it, okay? She has nothing to do with this relationship. I mean, thank you for bringing it to light and whatnot, but we can move on. So Ryan brings up the dating app thing. Whole time Brett had boyfriend number 2. Your boyfriend number 2. Cause the first one, he don't really seem like he know what to do. Shout out to Pleasure P. Child, Brett had a whole man on the side. Do y'all hear me? Child, this reunion had so many twists and turns. This season had so many twists and turns. Honey, I don't know who I'm for and who I'm against. I'm just here from beginning to end, calling it like I see it each and every episode. Child, this is a mess. The bottom line is this. Brett was doing dirt as well. Ryan just got caught. Okay, neither one of them communicated. Both were working on an exit strategy. That's the bottom line, point blank, and the period. They said no matter how long they stuck it out, they wouldn't have worked. Well, at least the two of them are cordial and respectful of each other, okay? And in the end, it seems like they're going to be friends and they can hang out on a dating app and swipe left on each other or swipe right on each other or try whatever y'all gonna do. Brett said, look, we never really got into it as we got into it, so it was easy to cut ties. Okay, let's move on. Nothing more to see here. Moving forward. Gill and Mirla. Body language looking broke up. Okay, both of y'all look nice, but y'all look separate because Mirla is not holding you, touching you, or even looking at you in the slightest. But I'm going to see if my predictions are correct. Gill looking like he been shopping. Okay, got on some red bottoms. I see. Okay. Mirla looking good. Mirla got Gill a little zhuzh. Okay. So they show the flashback of Mirla speaking highly of Gill, and Kevin asked if this is how they envisioned the process. And they each said, it's something that you can't really prepare for, but Gill said he was ready for it to be a slow process. So Kevin said, well, you did envision kissing your wife though, right? He said, yeah, I did, but I understood that we were strangers. And Kevin asked Gill if he ever crossed the line with his joking, because y'all know Gill liked to put Mirla down every chance he got. Okay, let's not forget. She said, I was hurt by all of the jokes because I've never experienced that. Kevin said, did you ever tell him that? Did she ever tell you? And he said, no, she never said that to me. She said, I never did because I had never heard that before. She said, all the people I dated, they were fine with that. He said, that's because they're all like you. She's like, no, they're not. And he said, yes, they're all you. They're literally you. So you're saying everyone that she was dating was high maintenance as well? Because you claim that she's high maintenance. Everyone that she was dating was a person that just likes to spend money frivolously. Is that what you're saying? So basically what you're saying is she's never heard it because the men that she dates, they are accustomed to the finer things in life as well. Okay. So Kevin brought up the slow burn when it came to the affection. And she said, usually I like to have a foundation with someone before I go physical. Physical intimacy comes after that. So Kevin said, Gill, you worked your butt off. Do you feel like it was worth it? I mean, I think so, honey. She was walking that dog and whatnot. But child, you never know. So Kevin said, so how are things now? Gill said, unfortunately. And baby, when he said unfortunately, I said, I know you in line. I know this is about to be one of those editing tricks. I know this is about to be something to make me laugh. Let's get into it. He said, unfortunately, since decision day, we have not been together. I knew it. Baby, that body language said it all. I knew it. I was like, why is Mirla not touching him? You know how they put you on that couch so you could be thigh to thigh. When you get thigh to thigh, that means that, most of the time, y'all all right. I could tell something was going on with Rachel and Jose a little bit because she was kind of turned toward him. And, they like to kiss and touch and whatnot. Ugh. And then as far as Gill and Mirla were concerned, when she didn't have her leg on him or he didn't have his arm around her, I knew something wasn't right. As far as Brett and Ryan, child, that's Brett and Ryan. But anywho, I knew it. These two might not have kissed, but they always touched each other. I mean, I kind of want to say I'm not shocked. I mean, he didn't want anything out of life and he brought her down every chance he got. Nobody can sustain a marriage that way, but child, let's hear it. Let's hear why. He said, 14 days after decision day. Child, not you talking like the caption on the show. 14 days after decision day. Mirla breaks up with Gill. Child, this is a mess. He said Mirla decided she didn't want to be with him anymore. And Kevin said, why? He said, I saw you with Dr. Pepper. Child, this is when she had 25-cent martinis. She was drunk. Child, she didn't know what she was saying, child. She said, it was a variety of things. I just acknowledge that we're so different and, I want someone that has financial stability. And I knew then when he said he had money over in the Swiss Alps or wherever he said the money was hiding, honey, I don't know. Wherever he said the money was, it wasn't going to work for her. And then when they were talking and they were kind of getting into it back and forth in front of Dr. Pepper and she was sipping that tea after she started the mess, I kind of figured after the cameras went down, they were going to have to deal with real life, and it wasn't going to be exactly what they thought it was going to be. Kev said, but you do have a job, right? He said, yes. And I have a pension, a nice pension. And I actually make $100 more every 2 weeks than she does. Child, Gill took those check stubs and broke them down to the penny. Do y'all hear me? Child, not you knowing the exact math calculation. Child, this is insane. So then Mirla tells us that the initial attraction wasn't there. Well, now we all know that she didn't want a bald man, but we thought you overlooked it, Mirla. Okay? You said you had overlooked the disco ball head that is Gill. You said you were fine with it. Okay? So now, Mirla, I feel like you playing in my face. Girl, she said, the attraction eventually came, but, I didn't want to have to make it happen. I mean, when you don't have that fire, you just can't make it happen. I mean, I understand that. So it's kind of like what Ryan was saying with Brett. He couldn't get the feelings, okay, because Brett wasn't his type. So Mirla just went along for the ride to go through the entire thing. And now she's saying that Gill didn't have the zhuzh that she was looking for. Child, this is a mess. Mirla was like, he's an amazing person. We just aren't for each other. Gill was like, I was blindsided because everything about our relationship was communication. Gill, you broke her down from communicating by poking fun at her every chance you got. All of the communication in your relationship was you poking fun at her. You aren't in kindergarten, okay? You can't pick on a girl to show them that you like them. It doesn't work like that. He said, I don't want to force anybody to be with me, but if you felt that way, why didn't you speak on it? Yes, girl, why didn't you speak your speech? And baby, let me just say this. Gill's eyes looked glossed the hell over like he'd been drinking a fifth of Hennessy in the bag. Do y'all hear me? I said, is Gill a little tipsy? Charlie's eyes were looking like Mirla's when she came out with those 25-cent martinis. I was looking for him to tiptoe backstage. Child, this reunion is all over the place. Oh, child. Houston know they can represent in a way that child. H-Town, stand up, child. That's all I got to say on that. So then he tells us, now this is the part that got me, y'all. This really got me. He tells us he sold everything he owned, and all he kept was his blender and his clothes. Child, he didn't even say his toothbrush. He said his blender and his clothes. Child, not the only thing he was left with was that blender and his firefighter uniform. Oh, man. I actually felt bad for Gill when he said that, because let me tell you something. I've been there. I've been in love where I've sold everything and just moved in with a person and they did me wrong. That right there was mean. That was mean-spirited, not Mirla. Honey, I'm just saying. He said, it just came out of nowhere. He said she told him, hey, I don't find you attractive. I'm not happy. He said, in my dumb self, I would decided to stay with her. I'm trying to work it out. I decided to stay with her and stay together for about a month until she just decided she wanted to move out. But then I decided to leave. Of course, honey, you don't want to be stuck with that rent. Child, we know exactly what you got going on. She said, I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. He said, you didn't say that? She said, no, and I'm not about to go back and forth with you. But yes, Mirla, please do, honey, because something happened that we're missing. Like, okay, so tell us, did you go home and have an aha moment? Did you have an argument about something where you said, I'm not going to be able to do this? Did you want to go to brunch and he decided that he didn't want to go to brunch? Like, what happened? He said, I guess I don't have enough money. She said, no, that's you projecting your insecurities onto me. Okay, Mirla, you've been listening to the reviews and looking at the tweets, girl. I hear you. Baby, Gill is hurt. Let me just say this. Marriages break up over sex and finances all the time. And Gill didn't aspire to want more, so I'm sure she wanted something. And he said no. And she realized in that moment that it wasn't going to work forever. That's what I think happened. But honey, I'm just assuming. Moving forward. She said, I did what was best for him. She said, I was in the house with you. You were looking miserable. I was unhappy. You were unhappy. And I can see that. Because he already didn't look too happy throughout the season. Every time he did an interview or a confessional, it was always to complain about something. And I just don't think he was happy with Mirla. I think he went through the process and he convinced himself to be happy. But I don't think he was really happy with her. And he already said he was going to pay all the bills. Wherever they live, he probably was pissed because he doesn't require anything except running water and a bed. So, child, when she put him in somewhere that cost more than 50 cents, honey, he was mad. She said, we were unhappy and I care about you and I want you to be good. So Kevin said, was there ever a time that you felt in love with him? She said, no, I was clear about that. Okay, Mirla, no, you were not. Because me as a viewer and us, the viewing public, we explicitly remember you saying, I choose to love my husband, or I chose to love my husband, and you were smiling and smizing and all smitten with him. So what are you talking about? I could have sworn you said I'm choosing to love my husband. Baby, the devil wears Prada. Moving forward. She said, I wasn't in love. I mean, I was honest with you about that. I never said that I loved you. And Kevin was like, okay, Gill, do you still love her? He said, absolutely. Kevin said, if she wanted to be back together, would you? He said, my heart is saying yes, and my head is saying yes. Baby, he want that marriage. I don't know what's going on today's date, honey, but while they sitting right here on this couch, he wants his woman. And another thing that I'm hearing is he need a place to stay. Child, y'all know I gotta say something that's silly. So Kevin says, so I'm looking at this woman, Gill, and she does not want you. Well, dang, Kevin. Like, have a little tact when you say it. Just say, I'm looking at her, and it doesn't seem like she's in the same place as you. It doesn't seem like she's on the same page. Not, I'm looking at her, and it doesn't seem like she wants you. Oh, my God. She said, I do not want to be married to him. No, I do not. He deserves a woman that's going to love him. Now, this is what tugged at my heartstrings, okay? When he said, I just want somebody that wants me. Oh, Gill, I've been there. I really have. I have really been there. I have been in a place where I just want someone to reciprocate the same love and understanding and affection that I'm giving them. But Gill, going into the next relationship, please don't try to break your person down to build them back up. Honey, that never works. Moving forward. So Kevin asked how he's been since they've been going through whatever they've been going through. And he said, it's been tough. I wanted to know if there was anything that I could do to fix it. But she was like, no, it's done. So Kevin asked if he's begun to heal. He said, no, I'm really having a hard time with the breakup. And I feel like I was meant to be with her. I'm going to therapy. And I've never had an issue with rejection before. Now, that is a good thing. The fact that he's going to therapy and making sure that he works through his issues so that he doesn't take it into the next relationship. But, child, Mirla, what kind of moves were you doing with him, honey? I got the moves like Jagger. I got the moves like Jagger. Child, Mirla over there putting it on him. Do you hear me? Got this man head over heels. So he asked her how she's been. She said, I'm okay. Life goes on. Wow. Baby, she is JJ Icefish cold. Do y'all hear me? Honey, if you know, you know. Moving forward. In the next scene, all the guys come out. So they're all talking. Hey, y'all. And Gill claims they all like each other. Well, honey, I wonder if that's going to change. And I wonder if it's changed now. I don't know when this reunion was shot, but y'all all like each other. Oh, okay. So Kevin said, there were a lot of tears, especially from Zach and Johnny. Yes, a puddle of tears. Baby, this season was all about water. All those wet eyes and a hurricane. Child, it was too much. So Johnny said, I need to take a break and bow. She would think I was walking away from her, but I was really just taking a break from the conversation at the moment. Okay, Johnny. Kevin said, Gill, you were the only one that didn't leave. Well, child, and look how that turned out. So then they show a little flashback of Gill and Mirla. Y'all stop putting this in this man's face, honey. The woman has dumped him. Y'all don't have to keep showing their highlights, honey. Let it go. So Kevin asked if anyone else would be able to deal with what Gill dealt with Mirla. So Zach and Johnny were like, I wish that was what I was dealing with. Yeah, me too, bro. Zach, Michaela is one of the most amazing women besides your mama. You see how crazy that sounds? And Johnny, word on the curb is you are now dealing with it. I'm just saying, child. That's what they saying in the streets. So Kevin asked if the guys were all shocked about Gill and Mirla breaking up. Ryan said, they were pretty solid, so I was shocked. Jose also said he was shocked. I guess Gill should have been asking Mirla more questions instead of surveying the couples. Honey, we wouldn't be in this predicament today. So Kevin asked Zach, has anything changed for him since the show? He said, I've learned that I don't need perfection in a spouse. All the things that I was nitpicking, I've learned that I don't need to do that. So Gill said they all came in expecting something, but when it came down to Zach, he wanted what he envisioned, and unfortunately, it wasn't that, and it wasn't something he was willing to compromise on. So then Kevin asked about Jose and Rachel. Zach said he wasn't surprised that they broke up, but he was shocked that they got back together. Zach, I know you ain't talking about being shocked people getting back together. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle calling the pot calling the kettle? Boy, if you don't go. So Ryan said, I don't feel like they broke up due to family and friends, but I think once she was single, there were people who liked her being single, and I'm not going to say anyone's name, but Gill's wife. Baby Mirla said, girl, we can go out and find us some new booze together. So then Kevin switched gears and he started talking about the bromance that we all saw coming. So when they started talking about the bromance, child, Jose was just sweating. Baby, he was sweating profusely. I was like, how hot are these lights? Child, y'all turn Jose lights down. Turn him down a little bit, because, honey, he about to turn into a puddle of water. So then Kevin asked about the bromance between Jose and Johnny. So they show us their montage, and Johnny said, Jose is just a great guy. I mean, when he enters a room, he speaks to everyone. He has a light. It's almost like a moth to a flame burned by a fire. That's the way love goes. Shout out to Janet Jackson. I was just playing, y'all. But he did say he was like a moth, honey. I'm just saying. And he was like a moth to a flame, honey. I'm just saying, look, I don't write it. I just repeat it. He said he had a light about him and I was drawn to that light. Okay. So you're drawn to Jose's light, but hated Bao's joy. Okay. So you can spit out a slew of compliments to Jose, but said everything you could find disheartening about Bao under the sun. Okay, interesting. Child, let's move forward. Michaela and Zach. Baby. Oh, my goodness. Michaela back in that Please Believe Me wig. Girl, hey. And she got on a little cha-cha slide dress. She on that dress. You know when you put that dancing emoji? And this is the dress you should have worn when y'all went to go do that salsa dancing. When you sat down. This the dress she should have been wearing. And baby, she had that wig cocked to the side and it had a little hump. That hump was getting ready to lie. Here we go. Kevin said, usually the couples come out together, but you want the stage by yourself. She said, yeah, I want the stage to be able to talk freely. I don't want him interrupting me. No, you want the stage to be able to lie on your own. Child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. You shared every space with him, but now you can't share a space with him today? Okay. She said, well, we had a great wedding. It was great. But then after the honeymoon, Zach was stuck on my knee-jerk reactions. She said, after he said all those things, I thought about it, and he was right. I really do need to manage my impulsiveness. You also need to manage that little lying problem, honey, and you ain't fooling me. Kevin asked, well, did you have any problems with Zach and the way that he behaves? She said, yeah, the lack of grace and forgiveness. I mean, I just had a problem with that. And I also felt like Zach was always waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I couldn't live that way. I mean, it was making me stressed. Y'all literally worked it out after you caused a huge scene at the retreat. So how did he not show you grace? Girl, what are you talking about? So then we take a look at the roller coaster from hell they called a marriage. Honey, let me just say this to y'all. I don't buy nothing that Michaela says after watching her lie with a straight face to Dr. Pepper. I'm sorry. It's hard to believe. This is what I believe. There's Michaela's side. There's Zach's side, there's production side, and there's the truth. Now, I don't know how I got 50 different sides out of it, but something ain't adding up. So Kevin said, well, you're saying all this. Why can't he just come out? She said, I don't want him next to me. So then they bring out Sharifa, her sister. She comes sashaying out. Hey, girl, like the little natural haircut and whatnot. Sit on down. So Kevin said, did you think they were a good match? She said, yeah. He said, okay, so what do you think now? She said, I'm indifferent. Baby, indifferent is worse than hating him. Child, this is a fool. Sis, make sure you use some of that indifference on your good sis, okay? Just make sure you hold her accountable as well. They both played a part in the demise of this relationship. She said, the problem is they both wanted to be right. Sometimes you just have to stop and just think about, what? I'd rather be married than to be right. Oh, okay. So the problem in their relationship was they both wanted to be right. It wasn't her being unhinged and him poking the bear and then them fighting it and getting back together and running all of us crazy. That wasn't the problem. Oh, okay. Because I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So Michaela starts telling us all the tea, child. She said he was messing with her emotions. She said she gave him the green light to go plenty of times, but he stayed. Child, so she said, look, I gave him the green light. I told him he could go plenty of times, but he stayed. And then he would send her text that said, good morning. Are you ready for that divorce? I see you as a coworker, not as a wife. Hey, ready to get rid of each other and all this kind of derogatory stuff. And I was thinking, a coworker? Show me the receipts, sis. Show me the receipts. Because let me just say this to y'all. I ain't believing nothing till I see the receipts. And that's that on that. She said, on our 1 month, we were kissing and touching and doing some other things. And then he got out of bed and said, don't tell anybody. Now, I knew that was some late night after sex work up a sweat food that they were going to get. Now, honey, I ain't want to say nothing, but it wasn't looking like they was just laying down. I'm just saying. So Kevin said, but I'm confused because I heard after decision day, you moved in with Zach. Yes, Kevin, we're all confused. It's a ball of confusion, honey. We're all confusion. Kevin said, so what about that? She said, well, I didn't move in with him. I did spend 7 or 8 nights there. I was cooking, cleaning, and I was having sex with him. Really? She said, then he said I was only over there because he was trying to help me out and that I was mooching off of him and encroaching on his area. Why don't you have your own place? And how were you encroaching on his area? Don't you have your own place? Was your lease up? Like, I have so many questions. She said the day that they just cut things completely, she sent him a text and she apologized and said, there's so much drama. Maybe we shouldn't be together. Maybe I should just get to know you as a friend. And he said, yes, that would be amazing. Okay, cut the crap. Y'all just playing these games for the chase. You leave, he calls you. He leaves, you call him. It's ridiculous. You should know enough about him at this point. Why would you want to be friends if he's doing all that? Like, this is not adding up. Kevin said, why won't you say that to him, though? She said, no, we're done. I don't need any closure. Child. Kevin said, did Zach play you? She said, absolutely, yes. I was in a marriage and he was playing. Child, Zach is in the back losing his mind, ready to come out. He's sliding out down the seat. Oh my gosh, what? Why are you saying this? Oh my goodness. Well, Zach, honey, we're going to get into you as we get into it. So they take a commercial break, and when we come back, we are with Zach. Kevin said, Zach, nice to see you. Why couldn't you guys be on the same stage? He said, I don't know. I was excited to see her so we could talk about these things. But I mean, if she doesn't want to be on the same stage, then that's fine. He asked, so where did things go wrong? He said, well, the first time she moved out, that's when things went wrong for me, because I felt like if you act like this now over something small, what'll happen if something big happens? Will you leave with our kids? He said, well, did you feel like it was a roller coaster? He said, no, I felt like it was an up, then a down. Zach, that is a roller coaster. Okay, just because you didn't take no twists and turns, which y'all did, honey, it's a roller coaster. Zach need a translator. He needs somebody to go out on set and tell the person exactly what he's saying. He needs an interpreter. Because I mean, I'm just not understanding what's happening. So Kevin asked about the couples retreat. He said, I actually felt really happy when I was leaving. It was just too much. It was too toxic. Zach was like, you know what? It's all my fault. Everybody said I abandoned her and that's how she was feeling and all this kind of stuff. And she's back there like, no, nobody said that. Girl, yes, you did. You literally said to Dr. Pepper, you felt abandoned. Girl, what are you talking about? Kevin said, no, I don't think people were saying you abandoned her. I don't remember that at all. I mean, I know people were saying that she should calm down and work through it. He said, so if there was no Hurricane K, you could have had a chance. Okay, let's pause right here for the cause. Why is nobody actually addressing how explosive that was? Like, even Kevin, like, I understand you're trying to figure out if they're together or if they're not together, but it's kind of like, well, if she wouldn't have done that, then would things have been better? Like, we need to address that. That is the core of the issue. But y'all ain't got time, honey, because we almost there. He said, yeah, probably. No, Zach, you said to Dr. Viviana that something was fundamentally wrong with Michaela. So if we're going with our first mind, then no, things would not have worked out. Even if she were not Hurricane K, you're not making any sense. He said she really thinks that I want to make her look bad. Like, why would I want to make my wife look bad? That doesn't make any sense. You know, as opposed to taking some accountability. Here she is in the back. I always take accountability. Michaela, you and your wig, pipe down. Gone, wig, gone. You're lying. Okay? You were out here lying and now he out here lying. Child, it's a fool. So Kevin asked, so Zach, what would you have done differently? He said, I would have left. This is the worst relationship I've been in. A romantic one, friendship wise, work wise. It's just terrible. How about sex wise? What was that hitting for? Because honey, the people are saying that, I mean, that's the reason why you keep coming back. It's just something about that. She got that whip appeal. And they saying it's the sex. She's saying the sex continued, and why on earth, after all that mess at the retreat, would you ever invite her to stay at your home? Are you scared of her or are you not? Okay? Like, this is insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So you saw how things were when you lived in the shared apartment, but you thought it was wise to have her living with you for over a week, cooking and cleaning and playing house after you told her you wanted a divorce. And Michaela, this is on you as well. If a man tell me in my face with my natural hair shining that I want a divorce from you, a divorce you shall get. Girl. So Kevin said there were several times you said things, that looked like you had feelings for her. He sure did, Kevin. He said, I did. Kevin said, do you hear it's confusing? He said, no, I don't. He said, on decision day, you said you wanted to work it out outside of decision day. So now she's thinking there's a chance. He said, I also told her that doesn't mean we're going to be together. So what does it mean, Zach? What does it mean? Zach said, where's the disconnect? Kevin said, there's no disconnect, but you have to have the balls to say, look, I want a divorce, instead of saying I want a divorce, but this could work out. Zach, I'm speaking directly to you. I told you that. You have to just come out and say it. I want a divorce. Cut, clean, dry. Don't talk to each other no more. Go to your separate ends of the earth. He said, stop acting like I did something to cause this, because I didn't. This is who she is. I hate to say that, but this is just who she is. Baby, Zach had enough. He said, y'all ain't gonna blame this on me. Baby, Zach said, look, y'all are not gonna blame this on me. This is who she is. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. But Zach, let me say this to you. This is what we needed on decision day. Okay, because the way they chopped and screwed it made it seem like you were playing some type of game and you got her all wrapped up just to let her down. That's the way it looks to us. So Kevin said, so were you intimate with her on the 1 month anniversary? He said, no, I wasn't kissing that girl. I wasn't doing anything. So Michaela's in the back and she's like, he said he was going to deny it. Yep. He said he was going to deny it. Kevin said, not even a kiss? He said, no, not even a kiss. Now, this is my thing. Zach, I would have rocked with that until you said not even a kiss. The way you were grinning at that grand piano when she put all those things together for you, I just can't believe you didn't even give her so much as a kiss. Nobody rents a hotel room to tell ghost stories. Like, what exactly were y'all doing in there? Playing board games? Like, what was happening? Kevin said the only way is to have her come out. We have to have her come out. Let's clear this up. He's like, no, I don't have anything to say to her. I mean, Michaela, if you want to contact me, honey, he's still speaking to the screen, child. She getting ready to storm the stage. He said, if you want to speak to me, you can unblock me. So then she storms the stage. Michaela, get to the back, okay? You had your time to speak, and now it's his time to speak. So Zach looked directly at the producers or whoever was in the back, and he said, no, she got her chance to speak separately. I want my chance to speak separately. But the thing that had got me is the whole time that he was talking, which I don't think that there was anything wrong with him saying she got a chance to speak, so now I want a chance to speak. Kevin was looking at him like he was crazy. I'm like, why are you looking at him sideways? Michaela is the one who requested this. So if she requested it, she does not get the right to storm the stage when she feels like it. This ain't the Michaela show. Child, and that was the end of the reunion. Listen, y'all, Saturday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will have a live. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about what you thought about the first part of the reunion. What did you think about Brett skating past the facts, honey? Because I'm thinking there's some truth to it, child. Somebody I called him every now and again. Child, you found somebody before decision day, and you found somebody before you found out about that app, and that's that on that. What do y'all feel about Jose and Rachel breaking up but then getting back together, and then Rachel having a hot girl summer, but she's saying that she's going to give Jose one more chance? I don't think that's a good idea, sis. And what do y'all think about Mirla and Gill not being Girla anymore? Do you think it was Gill's fault, or do you think it was Mirla's fault? Do you think Mirla was playing in our face, or do you think Gill is just trying to get a hosting gig? Child, y'all let me know down below, honey. And we are going to convene here. We didn't get a chance to talk to Johnny and Bao, but you know they're saving the explosiveness for part 2. Y'all don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.